Alright, what's up folks? Good day. There's a lot to talk about with Ethereum in the market as a whole today. So in this video, I'm going to run through some technical analysis, talk about what I see happening both long-term and short-term. So folks, like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that bell icon notified of new uploads. And look, I'll tell you why. Look folks, you can look back at the videos we made yesterday. I was talking about Ethereum all throughout these ranges. If we were to fall down to these levels here, that's where I would be looking to accumulate. That's where I was saying I think Ethereum is likely to find support. That is exactly where we found support. And if you'd been following our videos and if you would have accumulated then and there, you could have been up what, over 10% on Ethereum. Folks, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Hit that bell icon, notified of new uploads. We have been killing it in identifying key support and resistance areas. And folks, we have finally made a new all-time high with Ethereum, gotten above the key resistance level, a kind of 1872, 1875, and we are now entering price discovery. I've been trying to ring the alarm bells. I was saying all the way back here, back in early February, $2,000 is the price target, and folks, I think we are well on the way to $2,000. As long as Ethereum stays above 1875 and holds 1875, I think $2,000 is just a matter of time, in my opinion. I take that by taking the height of this ascending triangle that we were in for a while, moving it to the breakout point, and that takes us right to $2,000, lines up pretty closely with one of our FID levels. So I do think $2,000 is an inevitability if we can hold above 1875. So folks, lots of interesting stuff going on as well. Something that I'm going to start mentioning more and more on this channel, and I actually really regret not letting you guys know about this, is the Ethereum Bitcoin pair. If someone was following, if one were to have been following this closely, you could have pretty well timed this this potential Ethereum pump, because Ethereum Bitcoin pair has fallen and found support at an extremely predictable place. Ethereum was kind of was constantly getting rejected off kind of like this 348 range, and we are finding support. That area was previously acting as resistance. Now that we've pumped above it, we fall down to retest it. It is now acting as support. So if this can continue to hold as support, and if we can continue to rally in the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, I think Ethereum itself has a very good chance of continuing to rally. As soon as we see a little bit of a pause, a little bit of a pullback in the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, that should tell you that Ethereum might have a pause in the US dollar price as well. I thought I had the Bitcoin dominance chart pulled up. No worries. If we just pull up btc.d, go to all. For those of you who don't know, this is how you look up charts on TradingView. You just type in the ticker and it pulls you up here. And the reason why I want to talk about Bitcoin dominance is because it's a very good chart to look at in order to get a gauge of what the altcoins such as Ethereum are going to do. Whenever Bitcoin dominance rises, alts typically suffer. Whenever it falls, alts typically benefit. And I like to bring out the Heikin-Ashi candles because they're very good for identifying trends. So something very interesting, we've seen Bitcoin dominance starting to rally these last few days, and we're currently getting rejected off our EMAs. It seems like we might have a reversal and might have a further leg down. If Bitcoin dominance continues to fall, that should tell you the altcoins have more gas in their tank. So Bitcoin dominance is currently right above a very strong support level of, I'd say, kind of 60.4 to I'd say 57%. That is a very strong support area for Bitcoin dominance. If and when we can get into these regions and fall below these regions, folks, if we see Bitcoin dominance below 57%, I think the altcoins are absolutely flying. That's just my opinion, folks. But we are very close to a very important reactive zone. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Bitcoin dominance plays out all throughout these regions. If we continue to find support and go and kind of rally, and if Bitcoin continues to rally and pump, that may place the dampers on the altcoins. So this is a very good chart to keep our eye out for folks as well. Bill Gates is now neutral on Bitcoin. This is funny, folks. With all these institutions starting to get in, Tesla, Apple's considering getting into crypto, MasterCard and Visa are already in crypto. I mean, these these CEOs, these rich people, they're going to seem like fools if they don't start to seem a little bit more open-minded about Bitcoin and crypto, because it's just in my opinion, we're in the beginning stages of a bull run. It sounds crazy to say, but I do think this bull run is likely to end around the end of this year, 2021. And the crypto market is so insanely bullish that these guys have to start changing their tune. And it's very simple to understand why Bitcoin and crypto as a whole is so incredibly bullish. It's due to supply and demand. There's ever decreasing supply and ever increasing demand in the beginning stages of a bull run. Crypto moves in cycles. Bitcoin moves in cycles, in 4-year cycles based off the halvings. If you check out our Discord group, link for that will be down in the description below. We have a great chart broken down by Trading Shot, who breaks down the 4-year Bitcoin cycles pretty well. Again, link for that will be down in the description below in our resources section. And so, because crypto moves in cycles, and this is the point where we're entering kind of a new cycle, demand is just starting to build up. Supply has literally never been lower. Whales and everyone's buying up Bitcoin as much as they can. And the global reserve currency, the US dollar, is constantly being inflated. If you have $1,000 worth of the US dollar, it's being deflated at a rate of 15% a year. You can't even make that in the stock market. Try putting your money in an index fund or in a hedge fund. You're lucky if you make 10% a year. That's like amazing gains in the stock market over a year. That's a Tuesday in crypto. That's a slow day. And these rich people understand that they need somewhere to place their money, because they're literally like the US dollar is being devalued. Just sitting there doing nothing with US dollars is a liability. So the world needs a store value. I think Bitcoin is that store value. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I believe Bitcoin will bring the value into the market, and that will slowly trickle into Ethereum and the altcoins over time. So it's just an interesting story, very, very interesting to see. And that's, some of the reasons why I'm so bullish on crypto long term. As well, something that really is very interesting, that kind of legitimizes crypto, at least in the eyes of like the institutions and the legacy people, is the fact that Coinbase is having an IPO, initial public offering. So they're basically going to sell their stock on on the stock market, and that's what an IPO is. And so this is very interesting. I personally don't like Coinbase. They have very high fees, and I never used Coinbase, but it's just interesting to see. It kind of legitimizes the space. And wow, is this the valuation, 77 billion? That's quite a lot. So yeah, lots of interesting things happening in the crypto world as well. I wanted to pull up a chart of the new addresses of Ethereum. There's almost a direct correlation between new addresses and like spikes and pumps in price. And as we can see, just the other day on the 16th, there was a spike in new addresses. So that's good to see. It's pretty well correlated with a little bit of a spike in Ethereum. So if we see more spikes, that should tell you price is going to continue to rise. So it's a very interesting chart to look at. As there's new addresses, there's more buying pressure. So it's a very interesting chart. So yeah, folks, those are kind of some of the interesting things going on in the market. Bitcoin is still above $50,000. That is crazy. If we start to see Bitcoin really start to like rip up and rally up, that could really place the dampers on the altcoins, folks. So let's kind of take a look at our indicators here before I leave y'all, and kind of get a sense of how Ethereum's looking now. So, okay. Interesting. Look at this, folks. Okay, so we had a bearish crossover on the daily. Very bad news bears, very no bueno. But then followed by a bullish crossover right afterwards. Weighted MACD, bullish crossover. Stochastic RSI, bullish crossover. RSI does not want to go down. Daily looks bullish. All right, let's take a look at the 12-hour bullish crossover from the MACD. Ooh, or almost. Not quite yet, but it wants to have one. That's very interesting. Weighted MACD, bullish crossover. Stochastic RSI, bullish crossover. 12-hour looks bullish, folks. Larger time frames look bullish. 6-hour bullish, except the stochastic RSI. Take a look at the 4. 4 hours still bullish. Let's see if we can see some signs of some weakness. Even the 2-hour looks bullish, although concerningly, stochastic RSI is kind of in the overbought region. Folks, I can never not mention why I love the stochastic RSI enough. The stochastic RSI is great because it's good for identifying when you're gonna have a shift in a trend. It typically moves from one extreme to the other, overbought to oversold, overbought to oversold. Okay, and when it's in one extreme, like this, for this example, it's in the overbought region. And it's supposed to have that leg down, right? And when we have that bearish crossover and we're trying to go for that leg down and we don't, and we keep having bullish crossovers, it's actually extremely bullish because it's telling you the trend does not want to go down. It keeps trying to have that leg down. It keeps trying to have those bearish crossovers, and it keeps not doing it. So it's very bullish, although the MACD is ticking down and the weighted MACD is ticking down. It makes sense, guys. We've been ripping up. Whenever we rip up, it's never a straight line up, right? Like we pump, pull back, pump, and we might have a pullback. So we'll see here. Let's look at the hourly. See, but even the hourly, so the MACD is in a downtrend, but histogram is ticking up. Seems like it wants to have a bullish crossover. It doesn't really want to go down. What's the weighted MACD saying? Because the weighted MACD is kind of like a leading, well, it is a leading indicator on the MACD. weighted MACD still on the way up. Stochastic RSI, bullish crossover. So just to kind of summarize what we're seeing here, folks. Larger time frames do look bullish. We're seeing some signs of some weakness. We're kind of overbought in the lower hourly time frames, although we're not getting a confluence of reasons. So ultimately, I think just kind of the main takeaway here is I think as long as Ethereum maintains above 1875, I personally think $2,000 is just an inevitability in my opinion. Now over the long term, let's take a look at the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, because I think this is a very good chart to look at to try to understand what Ethereum could do this cycle over the long term. Well, if we look back at when Ethereum peaked out, Ethereum reached over 10%, over 12% of Bitcoin's price at the peak. So if we assume that Ethereum this bull cycle has a good chance of reaching, let's just say, around 10% of Bitcoin's price this peak, well, that means that I think Ethereum has a good chance of reaching 10% whatever Bitcoin does. So with all these institutions funding into Bitcoin, I think over the long term, Bitcoin has a good chance of reaching $1, $2, $3, $4, $500,000. So let's say Bitcoin reaches $300,000. Well, based off the previous cycles, with Ethereum having reached over 10% of Bitcoin's price at the peak in the past, I would wager that this time around something similar is at least has a good chance of happening over the long term. So if Bitcoin is at 300,000, I think Ethereum has a good chance of reaching $30,000. My Ethereum long-term price predictions are fully based off Bitcoin. And so yeah, folks, in terms of timing, I do think Bitcoin has a good chance of reaching its peak September, October this year. Now look, there's a lot of arguments that this is going to be a super cycle, the cycles are over because the institutions are here. And look, I'm open-minded to those arguments, but let's just assume that Bitcoin's going to reach some kind of peak. I don't think the cycles are going to completely go away. Maybe instead of, because the institutions are here and they're not going to sell their Bitcoin, and there's not as many weak hands, and crypto is becoming more like a legacy market where it's not like purely driven by FOMO and retail. That maybe instead of a 90 or 80% pullback in the bear market, there's only like a 60, 50, 40% pullback or a 30% pullback at the end of the cycle. I honestly don't know, folks. I do think the institutions being in Bitcoin and crypto does change the equation. I don't know to what extent the equation has been changed. I do think crypto is going to reach some kind of peak at some point here, and I do think Bitcoin is likely to reach its peak September, October 2021, and Ethereum and the altcoins are likely to reach a peak roughly a month after Bitcoin. And again, folks, check out our Discord group. We have tons of helpful resources for learning technical analysis. We post like interesting news stories of the day, that kind of thing. And you can find that chart I'm referring to by Trading Show, who breaks down the Bitcoin cycles pretty well. Link for all that will be down in the description below. Join our Discord as well, folks. Consider joining our Patreon. They get access to our VIP Discord group, our low cap gems, interesting setups, that kind of thing. So as well, we will also be giving away a hardware wallet randomly to one of the first 100 Patreon members. So make sure you consider joining our Patreon, folks. Link for that will be down in the description